Welcome viewers, Dr. JWAU. When Australia stopped recognising itself, when the word we no longer had a shared meaning. The argument lasted 11 minutes before anyone realised they were using the same word to describe completely different people. We, everyone said it, nobody meant the same thing. In Australia, the word had once carried an assumption. Whatever their differences, Australians belonged to a common national community. But gradually the assumption fractured. We increasingly meant your ancestry, your community, your generation, your cause, your identity, anything, almost anything except the country of Australia as a whole. Take Rachel, for instance. Rachel noticed it during a neighbourhood meeting after severe storms damaged dozens of homes. The streets needed clearing, elderly residents needed assistance, families needed temporary accommodation. But before volunteers could recognise the conversation shifted, it shifted away from where it was supposed to be. Which communities had been affected most? Which groups required separate representation? Which experiences deserved priority? Every concern sounded reasonable on its own, but together something strange happened. A neighbourhood facing the same disaster struggled to describe itself as one community. Rachel finally interrupted. "Can't we just help each other because we're Australians?" Silence. Someone replied that Australia meant different things to different people. Well, Rachel agreed, of course it did. But driving home that evening, she wondered whether difference had become so important that commonality itself now seemed suspicious. A shared identity never requires identical people. It requires something simpler. The confidence to say that beneath every legitimate difference, there remains a larger we. And without that confidence, citizenship becomes administrative, history becomes fragmented, national gratitude becomes awkward, and cooperation increasingly requires negotiation between separate identities rather than instinctive obligation between fellow citizens. Nothing dramatic announced a change. Australians still live beside one another. They work together, raise families together. But the smallest word in the national vocabulary had quietly become one of the hardest to define. Can Australia survive disagreement over what we should do? Because the deeper danger begins when nobody agrees on who we are in Australia. And that's why this series, When Australia Stopped Recognising Itself, matters.